These niggas are weird. This all I always go back to. Whenever I watch videos like this, I was like, damn, like this was like the 60s, this is like the 40s, and I was this age in the 40s. These same motherfuckers be the same ones in the Ku Klux Klan. They would try to join in on that. Or if anything, they'll be going to the picnics where they lynching niggas at. They'll participate. That's what my mind go to. Because I'm thinking, if you could get along in this day and age with all this information, oh, you're so easy. You're an easy lick. It's your boy Online Davo, and we back with another video. Look, we got everybody EXO Speaks. They can't stand this. Now, I don't even know what he's talking about, what he's referring to, but what I do know is they can't stand it. Come on, let's get right into the video.
Race mixing was illegal up until 2002. You're gonna give up 50,000 years of evolution if you mix up with this dude.
Are you filming us?
Yes.
This video isn't about telling anyone who they should date or marry. It's about a specific reaction that keeps showing up from white men when white women decide to marry or date black men. The anger alone isn't the point. It's the language that comes with it. Words like contaminated, ruined, single mother, keep the bloodline clean, you know, things that you've heard before.
Yeah.
That language doesn't come from nowhere, and it tells you exactly why this reaction happens. One of the easiest ways.
It comes from the programming that they have been instilling into generations of people across America through media. You know what I'm saying? Through movies. It all perpetuates a narrative. You know what I'm saying? It all participates in it.
Ways that people try to shut this conversation down is by calling it a preference. They'll say everyone has preferences, everybody's allowed to like who they like, and that should be the end of it. But preference does not explain what we're seeing. Preference doesn't come with rage. Preference doesn't come with slurs. Preference doesn't involve talking about bloodlines or contamination. And preference doesn't look like obsessing over strangers' activity.
I've come for your pickle.
Single.
You're making
They be so mad, bro. They be so mad and jealous, bro. You betrayed your own race. Nothing you say or do hold any weight now. How pathetic do you have to be to worry about who a woman is dating? Like, honestly.
Comment. Because I have a boyfriend of a different race. This is what you're willing to die on the hill for. A random stranger on the internet. They say love thy neighbor as thyself, and if this were me, I would say get a job, a hobby.
Something, bro.
There are a lot of interracial relationships, especially involving black men, that are surrounded by fetishization. A lot of the time, black men aren't treated as human beings. We're treated like a fantasy or a sex object instead of regular people. I've already made a video breaking down fetishization, so I'm not gonna go too deep into that here because that's not the focus of this video. But at the same time, there are also plenty of interracial relationships where black men are shown genuine love.
I mean, shit, the country was built off of black bodies. You know? Black bodies. You feel me? Being beat to grow crops and build shit. All type of shit, bro. To the point of exhaustion. And what do they value the most? How do we look? How physical? Shit, can you hold up to the amount of fucking brutality I'm going to instill on you? Can your body hold up and still produce the next day? So you have to be strong. You know what I'm saying? They have been obsessed with our bodies since forever. You know? So of course there's gonna be insecurities there. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I wish I could lift that much. I wish I could do this, down the third. They see their wife staring, googly eyed. Is she staring at that slave? Now they mad at him for just existing. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Jealousy. Jealousy is the root of it all also. You know, that's one of those things too. Just jealous.
And are treated like the human beings that we are. So when people go out of their way to harass this girl, mock her, and call her things like mudshark, that's wrong, bro. Especially when you don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. When a white man gets angry about a white woman dating or marrying a black man, that reaction isn't about who he wants to date. It's about who he thinks she's supposed to be with. And that difference matters. That reaction isn't quiet, It isn't passive, and it isn't personal taste. It's enforcement. It's the feeling that something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. And once you see that, it's clear that this isn't about romance at all. It's about control.
Nah, see, but see, that's the thing also, right? They don't want black men dating black women, but they never want to acknowledge how they were quite literally sexually assaulting our women. Yeah, raping them, all type of shit, making them have kids, and then making the kids be slaves. Like, you know how fucked up? Come on now. But yet, they're supposed, you see how dumb they sound? They're supposed to be contaminated, but you can't control your fucking pedo tendencies and your fucking rapist tendencies. So you go do that with a black slave, but they supposed to be contaminated and all that. Hypocrisy. That's another thing. It's built off of hypocrisy.
Understand this reaction, you have to look at how some white men think about this world and their place in it. A lot of white men were raised in environments where whiteness stayed together by default. They grew up seeing white families, white neighborhoods, white social circles, white expectations. Nobody ever had to say it out loud. It just felt normal. And over time, that turns into an unspoken belief that certain lines are not meant to be crossed. Not because anyone sat down and thought it through, but because that's how it's always looked for them. In that mindset, white women aren't always seen as fully separate individuals making their own independent choices. They're seen as part of the group, something that's expected to stay within those same lines and barriers. So when a white woman chooses a black man, the reaction isn't, "That's not my preference." They read it as her stepping out of line. And that's why the anger shows up, because control is being challenged, not over the woman as a person, but over the boundary itself. The idea that whiteness stays contained.
See, they want to control everything, the white supremacists. You know, they want to control the women. They want to control black people, Mexican people, everybody. They can't just let motherfuckers exist. That's why they so angry.
Familiar and unchanged. And when that idea falls apart, some white men feel like something's being taken from them, even though nothing belonged to them in the first place. This is where the language people use exposes everything. When white men say a white woman is contaminated or ruined by being with a black man, they're not talking about love, compatibility, or values. They're talking about worth. And that language only makes sense if you believe that blackness lowers value, that it stains, that it permanently changes someone in a negative way. And that belief doesn't come from...
If you believe like a white supremacist, that's how, you feel me? That's the type of language you use. If you're a white supremacist and you're racist, call it for what it is. I'm not talking to you, Exo Speaks. I'm just saying, we gotta call it for how it is.
From dating culture. It comes from racial hierarchy. You don't talk about human beings like objects unless you already see race as something that can be spoiled or tainted. And you don't frame black men as contamination unless you've already convinced yourself that blackness is something that's bad. Even when people try to laugh it off later or claim that they didn't mean it literally, we already know the truth.
Yes, all the time. I think I'm contaminated.
Contaminated?
Yeah.
Why do you guys say that? Wait, what happened?
Because I've been with black guys, so like they just think I'm contaminated.
And how do you feel? Do you think they're insecure?
Yeah, they get very insecure because they know that like they obviously have like, you know,
What the hell? Have you ever been with insecure white guys that got insecure with you dating black guys?
Yeah, they get insecure sometimes because black guys, like their size is usually bigger and they're just like overall better. Their hair, everything.
And what do you have to say to those white guys?
What I have to say is get bigger, get more confident, and you want us to compete with me.
See, even then, the language they talk, the first thing they point to is the meat size. Damn, bruh. See, and it's all like, just step outside. All comes from self-esteem, man. They have low self-esteem. That's why they have so much anger towards people that they have no control over or no connection to. You don't know these people. Why are you mad or why you feel a way that they date a black person? They don't know you, nigga, and you don't know them. Man.
Do you think race mixing should be illegal?
Should it be legal or illegal?
Illegal.
Oh, no. No.
Why not?
I love my chocolate, man.
So you're a mud shark?
Oh, what?
You're a mud shark?
A mud shark is crazy. No.
You said you like chocolate men.
Okay.
So you're a mud shark. Why should race mixing be legal if the child is more likely to turn out?
That's a statistic?
Yes.
From what source?
Me looking around.
Those words come out easily
Nigga,
because
just saying, just talking. Just talking to talk. Shut up, man. Shut up. Nigga just like to hear himself. Talking about something. Fuck. Me? My eyes? Head ass. Nigga, please.
The idea is already there. This is not accidental language. It's inherited thinking. To them, there's no room for change, no room for context, and it's no room for individual differences. Once somebody's labeled ruined, that's it. And that kind of thinking only works when people stop seeing others as individuals and start seeing them as symbols that either hold or lose value. And that's why this language shows up so consistently. It's not about the specific relationship. It's about reinforcing an old belief that crossing racial lines should come with some sort of consequences behind it. Saying someone is contaminated isn't about describing reality. It's about warning others what would happen if you step outside of the boundary that they have in their head. Another part of this reaction that barely gets talked about honestly is fear. Not fear of danger, but fear of comparison. For a long time, black men were kept out of certain social competition. And it wasn't subtle. It was enforced through law, violence, and stigma. Especially when it came...
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man. Black man come in. He started talking to her a little differently. He started saying things to her that she never heard before. She started feeling things she never felt before. Yeah, you gonna get insecure, nigga. You know what I'm saying? She talking to a Poindexter, nigga. She talking to a nerd. Now she talking to a real nigga. You feel me? But, you know, it all comes from how you view yourself. They all gonna choose. They're not gonna always choose you, bro. Simple as that. You see, the niggas that get bitches don't worry about race mixing, bro. The niggas that get bitches, they don't worry about that, gang. You feel me? They too busy doing what they race mixing themselves. If you want to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, it's so sad, bro. It's so sad seeing, and by the time y'all see this video, y'all should see my other video about the dude that was just like, I just hate everything. I hate everybody. Nigga was like fucking just hating the world. This how it starts. You know what I'm saying? This how it all starts.
Into proximity to whiteness. But when those barriers weaken, comparison becomes unavoidable. And you gotta understand, comparison is uncomfortable for people that were never taught to deal with it, especially when their identity was built around being the default option instead of one option among many. So instead of processing that discomfort internally, it gets redirected towards us because anger feels easier than insecurity and blame feels easier than adjustment.
Woman.
That's why this reaction usually comes from white men.
Grown woman. I'm telling you, bro, if your girl ever post some shit like this on social media, bro, what?
That don't know the woman, they don't know the man, and would never be affected by the relationship in any real way. The reaction isn't about them personally. It's about what the situation represents. It represents a world where assumptions don't guarantee outcomes anymore. What makes this even harder for some people to deal with is that comparison forces self-reflection. It raises questions they were never encouraged to ask, like whether status was earned or assumed, and whether confidence was built on ability or just never being challenged.
When you never had to question yourself, you never had to question your abilities, when you never had to take constructive criticism to actually improve yourself, hey man, you're built on a rocky foundation. You know, someone could come through and knock your shit off. You know, just because you never took that time to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, what do I have to improve on? You know, you just assumed that you yourself was good enough. Nah, man, there's a lot of people out here that could do the things you do, but what separates that is you doing it. You know what I'm saying? You yourself, the person that's doing it, is what separates it. You know, so.
In the first place. For people who were taught to see themselves as the standard, being compared at all can feel like disrespect instead of something normal. And instead of sitting with that discomfort and adjusting to it, some white men try to shut down a comparison entirely. They attack the relationship, the people in it, or the idea of it existing at all. Not because it directly harms them, but because it reminds them that the world doesn't revolve around the same guarantees anymore. One of the most common things that you'll hear is this idea that if a white woman dates or marries a black man, she'll end up a single mother. What matters isn't whether or not single motherhood exists. It's how selectively that argument gets used. White men leave families. White men create unstable homes, and white men fail as partners and fathers every single day. But nobody turns that into a racial warning. The single motherhood talk only comes out when the man is black.
I don't care if they date black.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world, I think. I mean, like, you definitely got to vet them out and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might not be, like, you don't want her to be a single mom and shit, but...
Hold up. Did
What?
you say compete? No. They can have you. We're good. As a member of the white delegation, I hereby sentence you to single motherhood.
Would you guys rather have a mud shark daughter
What a nerd. Oh my God.
or a wigger son? A mud shark daughter or a wigger son? So your son, a wigger son is like a son that wears like Jordan 11, sags his pants.
No, I
dresses
don't want
like
one of him.
Yeah.
What's the other one, though?
Mud shark daughter, she only dates black guys.
No.
Which one?
No, I'll keep myself before both.
Laughing. This nigga said, laughing with his whole chest out over being racism. Bro. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of people out here who have disdain for black people. They have disdain for no reason. They don't even know why. Because of oh my God. They don't know why because they never even looked into why they were able to even get these type of opinions from social media and television and all that stuff. You know, they ain't looking to the history of it. They just go along with the get along. You know? Easy to control. So easy.
So this isn't about concern. It's about discouragement. It's meant to scare her, shame her, and send a clear message. Step outside of these lines and there will be consequences. That's not advice. That's control pretending to be concerned. There's no room for individual behavior, no room for responsibility, and no room for real outcomes. The conclusion is already decided before anything even happens. And that kind of thinking doesn't come from real experience or facts.
Yeah, you see, black people, if you were to describe us, right? Black people, we're a pre-made, we're like a painting, right? To society, we're a pre-made painting. They already made whatever conclusion of us by themselves. And then it's our job to try to show them that we're not the way that they think. Ain't that shit crazy? They come with all this shit for us. And we gotta be the ones to change their mind. It's our fault because they think a certain way. And then it's a whole system that plays into it because they try to produce these weak-ass reports. They try to push these weak-ass narratives to reinforce that thought process, because now you have another tool to add to your box. You have another tool that you can use to control people. Fuck it. He not religious? Let me feed into his racism. Damn, he not racist? Let me feed into his homophobia. Damn, he not homophobic? Why damn? Let me feed into his not, like, you know? I'm trying to tell you. So, hey man, watch what you consume before it consumes you.
It comes from a story that people were taught and never questioned. If you say it enough times, it starts to sound like common sense to the people that are repeating it. They stop hearing it as an insult or a threat, and they start hearing it as truth. But when you step back and look how selectively it's applied, it's clear this narrative isn't about protecting anyone. It's about reinforcing boundaries and discouraging choices that challenge the racial order that they're trying to hold on to.
Yep.
When people start talking about bloodlines, that's when the mask really comes on.
Oh, yeah.
That language comes straight from racial purity thinking. The idea that whiteness is fragile and has to be protected. That mixing means loss and that change is a threat. And that way of thinking treats race like something you own, not...
Yet, the same ones that was preaching this shit was the same ones that was quite literally raping our women. Ain't that shit crazy, huh? Quite literally. These niggas are weird. And this I always go back to. Whenever I watch videos like this, I was like, damn, like, this was like the 60s, this is like the 40s, and I was this age in the 40s. These same motherfuckers be the same ones in the Ku Klux Klan. They would try to join in on that. Or if anything, they'll be going to the picnics where they lynching niggas at. They'll participate. That's what my mind go to. Because I'm thinking, if you could get along in this day and age with all this information, oh, you're so easy. You're an easy lick. They're going to use you to push the narrative in the 30s, in the 40s. So that's why I be looking at niggas weird, like, I don't know, bro. Like, the only reason why we friends, or the only reason why we having this conversation is because we in the 21st century, my nigga. If this was 1935, I know what type of nigga you'll be. I know what type of time you want. So I might as well cut you off in this day and age too. That's how I see it.
Something you are. It treats having kids like an obligation, not a choice. And that's why the reaction hits hardest when white women are involved. In that mindset, they're seen as carrying whiteness forward. So their relationships aren't treated as personal. They're treated as group decisions. So when a white woman chooses a black man, some white men feel like something was stolen, like something got tainted, as if something was taken from them. And it's not because of love, but it's because of control over the future. The internet didn't invent these ideas. It just gave them a mic. Social media platforms let resentment bounce around, get validated, and get louder. People feed off of each other's fears and tell themselves that they're protecting culture, when really they're just exposing their own insecurity. Stuff that would sound wild in real life starts to sound normal in those spaces. And because it gets dressed up as tradition or concern, people don't ever really own up to what it is that they're saying. What used to get whispered amongst themselves is now getting said out loud.
Now niggas making money off it. Let's not forget that. They starting to make money off it too. They making money off the racism, money off the homophobia, all type of shit, bro. So it's like, even if you got people that don't even really believe it, like they truly don't even believe it, but they just saying it just to say it, they still influencing people to actually believe it. So that's why you gotta still be on their head too. Yeah, you grifting. Yeah, you may not really believe what you saying, but you still saying it, my nigga. So you gotta be held accountable. You know, words have consequences. That's what we tell people. I don't own no word, but I cannot tell you how someone will respond to whatever words you say to them. You know, their response is in their own free will, my nigga. So I'm trying to tell you, you gotta hold these people accountable, you know?
Video is not about telling people what to do with their lives, and it's not about me trying to defend white women. It is not my personal stance on interracial dating. Personally, I date black women, but I don't get upset or angry with black people that date.
Nah, this nigga had to show proof. Damn, EXO. That nigga showed proof, like, nigga.
Outside of their race. It has nothing to do with me, and my opinion on somebody else's relationship does not matter. All I'm doing is telling you why certain people respond with rage and obsession when a line they thought was set in stone gets crossed. And that reaction shows beliefs about ranking, ownership, and control never went away. They just stayed hidden until moments like this poured them out. And until people are honest about that, they'll keep pretending this behavior is harmless, just a preference, or normal.
You gotta call it how you see it. Shout out EXO Speaks. And the thing is this too, right? It's insecurity, and it goes both ways. It goes both ways, because there'll be some black dudes. If a black woman date a white dude, they'll be on some, I don't know, man. That shawty, this down the third. It's like, fuck it, let her date her. If that's the nigga she wanna be with, let her be with her nigga, bro. What do that gotta do with me? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't get it, man. People need to just watch, worry about yourself, okay? Stop meat watching, you know what I'm saying? Stop taco watching, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let them do their thing. She not gonna let you fuck, my nigga, so don't even worry about it, okay? He not gonna take you on no dates, so don't even worry about it, you know? So, it is what it is, bro. I'm gone. Peace.